everyone and welcome to another episode of Claire's Ciniflix Corner. Guys, it's finally here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Solo, a Star Wars story. So leading up to this video, I have been reviewing the original Star Wars trilogy, and today it's finally here. I'm so excited. Let's talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. So Solo, a Star Wars story was directed by Ron Howard. It was written by Jonathan Kasdan and Lawrence Kasdan. The cast include Alden Ehrenreich, Joonas Suotamo, Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, and Paul Bettany. The score was written by John Powell. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is characters, because let's be honest, fans were really scared about who they were going to cast for this film. As we know, Harrison Ford has always been connected to Han Solo, the character, and so I imagine that a lot of fans were very disappointed with the casting. I remember even watching the trailer for the first time. It looked fun, but I wasn't really sure about Alden playing Han Solo. So going into this film, that was the thing that I was most scared about, that I wouldn't like the casting. To be honest, at first, it didn't feel like Han Solo. But as soon as he meets Chewbacca, everything changed for me. The way that Han Solo meets Chewbacca is so cool in this film. I think they did it perfectly. And after that, I started to notice some of the characteristics coming out in Alden as Han Solo. I can start to believe that this is a younger Han Solo. So I think Alden did a really good job. Whoever was going to play him was going to have a very tough responsibility, a lot of weight on his shoulders to carry this film along. I think Alden did a really good job. I'm really proud of what they have done with Han Solo. I think it's a really good story. It's worth watching. Joonas, I think he was also Chewbacca in The Force Awakens, but I may be wrong. I know they used the original actor to play Chewbacca as well, but I think he did some of the standing scenes. He's really good. Some of the moments in this film are stolen by Chewbacca. As I said, the way they introduce him and Han is just perfect. He has more of a story in this one. He has more of a emotional side. You understand why he's there. You understand his connection to Han Solo, like how their friendship begins, what Wookiees are like. Like there was a lot more established of his character, I feel, in this one, which was really nice. Emilia Clarke's character in this film is really interesting. I wish right at the beginning of the film that they had established her and Han's relationship. I think her name is Qi'ra. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I just felt right at the beginning of the film that they could have done a bit more with her character in establishing her, building up her relationship with Han. But you can see through Han's performance, you can see the love that he has for her. Kind of would have liked to have seen or known a bit more about her. I felt that they just kind of brushed that off at some points whenever Han would ask about what had changed about her. And then the third act would have had more impact for me. The person who stole the show for me though was Donald Glover's performance as Lando Calrissian. I'm sure every reviewer has talked about this, but he just did such a wonderful job. His voice is on point. His acting was on point. I felt like he definitely was a younger Lando Calrissian. My sister feels that he's a lot more engaging than the original Lando Calrissian. She likes him better in this film, so that was interesting, but I think he did a really good interpretation of Lando, and so for me, he's definitely the best character in this film. If you're not really interested in seeing this film, I would recommend going to see it just for Lando Calrissian's character, because he's just so engaging. So Paul Bettany's character is kind of the antagonist in this, although it was really hard trying to find an antagonist for the first two acts of this film. And even in the third act, like, I wish they had done more with his character. He seemed to be one of the actors that were having the most fun on this. I kind of wish that they had developed his villainy a bit more. You literally get a shot of him killing someone. That's about it. I wish they had done a little bit more with his character so that we could establish him more as an antagonist, but he was wonderful in this film. Like, I don't think I've seen him in a villain role myself, like personally from watching other films. I've usually only seen him as a good guy. Seeing him as an antagonist in this film was really interesting. I just wish that they'd done more with him. Woody Harrelson in this film, of course, he is kind of the mentor of Han Solo. He, for me, I think he could have been played by anyone. Like, Woody Harrelson, I remember watching him in Hunger Games, and he's kind of a mentor in that, and so when I watched this I was like, okay, he's just playing the role that he was playing in Hunger Games. I felt like his character was good. The story is carried a lot by him as well, because he's the one that teaches Han Solo things that he needs to know. So about the story, this film has a really good story. What I love about this one compared to Rogue One is we established the goal of the movie right from the beginning. We know that Han Solo wants to be a pilot, that he wants to fly away from the planet that he's on. He's not happy with it, he's not treated very well on it, and he wants to take Emilia Clarke's character Qi'ra with him. And so that was really good. The first 2 acts of this film are absolutely amazing. There's wonderful scenes, wonderful shots. There are a couple of continuity errors in this film, and that I think is because there was an original shoot and then there was a reshoot of this film, and so you kind of at times feel, I wonder which one was the original and which one was the reshoot. There is a specific scene that I was actually talking to someone at work about. Han Solo basically throws a thermal detonator and a light comes through, but it's nighttime in the next shot and before the last shot, and so that was really interesting. That's just one of the things that this film struggles with because of the reshoots. There are a lot of continuity errors. I'm probably sure that if I watched it again I could notice more, but that was something I noticed. Something I also didn't really like about this movie is when you first get into the Millennium Falcon, this bit where it's flying, the cast kind of looked like the director just literally went, okay guys, everyone just have fun, like go play. And it just felt like a disrespectful approach to the Millennium Falcon. There's a lot of nostalgia in like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi with the Millennium Falcon, which I thought was good and appropriate. But in this film, the cast didn't feel like, I know you don't have to earn so much respect. Like at this point, the Millennium Falcon is loved by maybe Han and Lando, but the other characters where they're like playing the game and then they go into these different rooms, and it just felt like, oh, I'll just show you parts of the Millennium Falcon that you remember from the old films. It wasn't nostalgic. It sort of felt like kids playing in a play park. I don't know. That's just how I felt, and my sister agrees with me. There's a sequence where Han kisses Qi'ra in the Millennium Falcon. I really didn't like it. I felt like they were trying to recreate the Han Solo and Leia kiss from Empire Strikes Back. And so watching that interpretation of it, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. I kind of didn't want to watch. Like it wasn't like a happy, oh my goodness, they just kissed, like it kind of is with Empire Strikes Back. It was more of a, ugh, like why? It just kind of made Han look like, oh, like the way that he wins girls is by taking them into his Millennium Falcon and then kissing them. It was just a bit like, okay, sure. You can do that. I was just like, oh, really? Like, really? Did you have to do that? The CGI in this film is very good. There is a wonderful train sequence, which again is shown in the trailer. Really good. There's a part in this train sequence, however, that I felt distance from the movie, and that's when you get this kids choir come in to the film from the music. The scores in this film are absolutely amazing. John did a wonderful job of creating Star Wars music. But there's this one sequence, as I say, on the train where there's a lot of action sequences, and basically the music ruined the scene for me. It detached me from the action. I felt like I was watching a different movie. It was like this kids choir tribal kind of thing that just didn't fit with what I was seeing. So there were some explanational parts in this movie. Like, how did Han get his gun? That's in the trailer. Sabacc game. Going into this film, that was something that I didn't want. I remember right at the beginning when I first saw the Solo trailer, some things that I didn't want in Solo was, how did he get his blaster? How did he get his jacket? There were so many things that I did not want to see in this movie. However, watching this film, there were parts that I thought was great, that I think they did superb. One of them is the Sabacc game. I was kind of not wanting to see that. I kind of didn't want to see Han win the Millennium Falcon, but I knew it was probably the most obvious way to go. And to be honest, it was probably one of the favourite scenes in this film. I just think it was so funny. There's a lot of humour, and it was just really cool just to see how that game is actually played. So in the end, I loved the sequence. I'm glad it was in there. I really appreciate that. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I am definitely gonna go see it again, and if you really want, I might do a spoiler video, but there's not a lot of spoilers in this film, so that video will probably be really short. I just really wanted to talk about this film. I hope you have an opportunity to see it. If you do, please leave a comment below in this video. Let me know what you thought. As always, please give us a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, why have you not subscribed yet? Like, don't you want to see more content? Don't you want to see us do more videos? Like, please give us a subscribe. We would absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all you do. This has been Claire's Ciniflix Corner, and I'll see you on the other side.